Hello, folks, and just another quick review. So, I watched Salem's Lot. Now, I'm a big Stephen King fan. I actually know a lot about him, but I've probably talked about this before. But I definitely watch all the Stephen King specials. You know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, they had like It, Salem's Lot, Return to Salem's Lot from the 70s that was on there, Night Flyer, like a different like Stephen King adaptations accordingly, right? So this is the first feature film of Salem's Lot. Now, remember, the original 1970, I think it was like 79 thing was actually a TV special. It was like a little over 3 hours, like 3 hours, like 6 minutes. Like it's like 3 hours or something, right? I can't remember how long Return to Salem's Lot is. I'm actually trying to add that to my collection. I have a few of a Stephen King section. So I have a few. I'm building my Stephen King movies up. But yeah, so the remake was, I think, even a little longer. Matter of fact, I think I remember correctly. I think, and you can double check me, I think the original was like 3 hours and like 6 minutes, 100 and something minutes, like 180 minutes or something like that. But whatever. I think the original was like 3 hours and 6 minutes, and then the remake that was in the 90s with Rob Lowe, which was pretty cool to see, like with the Rob Lowe. I thought it was a nice update, a little bit to it. It's a little bit more, like I said, updated. That one was, I think, 3 hours and 12 minutes. So now this feature film, which sat on the shelf for a little bit, and I've seen some people like dogging it. They're like, "Oh, it's so terrible." I'm like, not really. I'll say the good and the bad with it, but it was like about maybe a little under 2 hours. Like maybe 113 minutes, something like that, give or take. All right, so let me get this straight. Now, some people said that the CG looked. I actually thought the vampires looked really good in this one. My personal opinion. I thought the way they did the eyes, the look and stuff, I thought was really cool. It was a little bit there. So, matter of fact, let me start with it. It's definitely rough around the edges. There's some changes. I didn't think the changes were bad. I actually overall thought that each character this time around, though, was very that character. So the teacher was specifically the teacher, and he did the things. He wasn't like, do that. The doctor, she was the doctor. And she had an interesting way to fight vampirism, but she was like the doctor. And then it was this person was like that. And they, it was this one still took place, looks like in the 70s. The late 70s this time, from what it felt like. And they kind of mixed it up a little bit with the cast on how they looked, the age and stuff like that, which I didn't think was a bad thing. But everybody was that person. So you knew with Ben being Ben, he was like who he was, Susie and all that. And the big problem was that they all were one-dimensional. Now, for me, I was fine with it, but it did have that 80s, 90s, sometimes you get a little rush. So, for example, the relationship didn't develop the same like it did in the other. It was very quick with Arthur and her. Like, it was enough that you saw it, but it went from like, okay, they were talking, dude's jealous, then it was here, and like they're already together, like sleeping together, and then it was like, oh, we're gonna run away together, and it was kind of like boom, 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 boom. There was no major buildup. It was like you could tell there was chemistry, you could tell they got along, and then they went to the next thing, and it was like, okay, now we're hanging out here. Then they went to the next thing, oh, we're sleeping together, and then like that. So I thought that was a little rushed. I understood why, and it was okay for the film. The film took it to its base roots of very like simplistic. It worked for the movie overall, but they could have used some more character development. Like, they could have put them in there and cooked a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Everyone was a little undercooked. They were very one-dimensional. But it did give a conveyment of simpleness. Now, the best character in this movie is Mark. Hands down. Mark, the kid. He is awesome in every category. You knew everything you needed to know about Mark. Mark was a very straightforward guy. And they gave you very quick answers to why Mark could get to do this and why Mark was kind of tough and stuff like that. Mark was a kid that just played no games. And I liked that. I was like, that's who I would be in a horror movie. Mark. Y'all can say what you want. Mark, if for nothing else, watch this movie for Mark. Mark, he's quick on his feet. He thinks fast. Mark actually probably made this movie, to be honest with you. the way they did Barlow and this one was a little bit different. Definitely looked very similar, and I really enjoyed the vampire look. And there were some moments in this movie of just pure gore, like good gore, and it was very nostalgic. Now remember, they had an hour less to develop this story, so it's not as easy when you have two previous adaptations and a sequel to the one of them, Return to Salem's Lot, where it's a little bit more. They have a lot of time to kind of play with it, so that probably influenced them a little bit, but definitely the speed of it did run through. But I did overall have fun. Now, if you're watching this movie, don't try to do this thing. I try to do this when I watch a remake, because people make this mistake. They always compare it together, and I know they try, and it's very hard to separate. I separate them. I'm like, okay, let's see how this stands on its own. Overall, I thought it was fun. Now, Ben, at times, I thought, like, he was very good, but he was very, like, who he was, you kind of knew throughout. And Ben got a little stupid in the end for a little bit, if I could say that. Like, the way he went after Susan and stuff, it was kind of like, and, like, the different people, like, how he dealt with it was kind of like, oh, okay, Ben, you know, slowly roll a little bit, bro. But I thought it was really cool. The way they did the like some of the scenes that were kind of harked back to the other. I definitely liked the hypnotism and how they like represented that, how they represented the vampires like with their eyes and stuff, and how you became that and everything. And they were like, and they kind of sprinkled Barlow throughout this time, where in the original you had to wait till the end of the movie practically to see him. This one, I mean, you get to see the full effect you saw, but you got to see glimpses, and I liked how they did it. Like he was like that real quick. And I thought that was a really cool thing. I personally thought it was all right. So I think the movie's fun. If you just sit there and just watch it, it actually is fun. It's entertaining. It's doing there. It's not super deep. It's not as character driven as I would have liked it to be. But overall, I had fun with the movie. I'm adding it to the collection. Like, I didn't think the movie was bad. I enjoyed myself. I wasn't bored. Especially when the movie picks up. To me personally, I do, and I will say this, I felt the climax worked. Like, the last thing, I actually personally kind of really liked it a little better than the original, actually. I know some people, I'm not talking about the books. I don't care. I'm talking about the movies and versus the miniseries. I like the way they did the climax. I just thought it was cool. I like a big battle, but it was like, oh, wow, we're really stuck right now. And I kind of liked how they did that, and the situation at hand and what they had to deal with, and how they had to deal with just all throughout. And Mark is the best character. Like, Mark is actually one of the best characters I've seen in the Stephen King thing, period. Like, Mark was better than the original kids. Like, Mark in this would make those kids look like punks. Like, Mark was like, I plays no games. And I'm harping on Mark because he was that awesome. He's one of the best kids I've seen in a horror film. Like, he was like, nah, you cross me, I'm gonna have to put the paws on you. And I like that. And he was like 11. And I'm like, but it was believable because Mark was very smart, and his thing was, I will fight. And I like that, because I would be that way. That's why I like Scrappy. I don't care what y'all say. If you don't like Scrappy, oh well, you're a loser. Scrappy's one of the best characters in Scooby-Doo, and I don't care what anybody says, because Scrappy was ready to fight everybody. That's how you fight a monster. I'm tired of, we're gonna keep running. Nah, you put the paws on the monster. So yeah. So overall, I had a good time. I think if you watch it just to take it for what it is, realize there's an hour gone. So they kind of have to get to the point. And I think when it really picks up, I think it was really cool. I think the gore was really good. And I think there was certain really good scenes of intensity, from time to time too, where you were like, oh, are y'all going to make it? Who's going to make it? Because you didn't know. And they kind of did it, and different people and the sheriff and everything. I just personally think that it was really well done. I like that certain scenes were switched for it. And I'm going to say I had a good time. So yeah. It's a good time. It's a good watch. You'll have fun with it if you just let it have fun with it, and know that it's not perfect. It's definitely rough around the edges. There's definitely one-dimensional characters, but one-dimensional, it worked for what they did. Like, they could have put a little bit more layers on it, but I think they were trying to pad out the time. Like, they were trying not to pad out the time too long. So it's like roughly about maybe 2 hours, a little under 2 hours. Like, it was fine for what it was. I think you would have a good time. Geek Protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real. Tell me if you've seen the movie. Have a good one.